Samantha, and these are my group members, Paulina, Richard, and Cheryl, and Mark, who unfortunately had to run and catch his plane back home. Before we tell you about our fantastic concept 1 million Ottawild experiences, we want to go through the process that we took to get here. So, in order to combat this wicked problem that has been presented by the City of Ottawa, we used the 5-step process through empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So the first step, empathize. We used stereotype point of view method, so we created people like Norbert the nature enthusiast and Sally the senior, since Ottawa has tasked us with addressing such a wide audience. We asked ourselves, what would these archetypal stereotypes want from a web or an app about heritage systems? It could be things like a bike route for Ali the athlete, or it could be the best beach spots for the Ferguson family. And as we stewed over these ideas, we began to define our problem. How would we accommodate all of these needs into one platform? And we came up with 3 goals. The first goal, create conversation about natural heritage systems. 2, provide easy access to information. And 3, do it all through crowdsourcing and sharing.
So could I just interrupt you for one moment to ask, City of Ottawa, how are you receiving? Can you hear it well?
Yes.
Yeah?
Great.
Fantastic.
Are you currently on slide number 2? Can you see that?
The design process.
Correct.
Yep, we've got it.
Okay,
Yay.
thank you.
Okay, thanks for that, Renee. So we realized that through all of these archetypes, they had one thing in common. They all wanted an experience out of this natural heritage system. So in our idea phase, we came up with the concept of 1 million Ottawild stories. We were actually inspired by a case study from Oklahoma City where the mayor challenged her citizens to lose a collective £1 million. And in response, they created various web pages about fitness and actually ended up changing the infrastructure in the city to suit healthy lifestyles. So we believe something like this prototype could feed into the Ottawa 2017 plan and other municipal initiatives. We decided, since there were so many potential users and such an incredible diversity in age, we wanted the users to have different methods to interact. So we thought of things like Twitter for the younger generation, Facebook for the parents, TripAdvisor style things for trail routes. But what ended up happening as we started to get feedback through the testing phase was maybe we were losing our message, maybe it was too much to handle. And so we went back to the drawing board and we started studying different things, and we realized, we looked at one study from Australia, that the thing that most people will contribute to is posting a picture and maybe a little bit of words about their experiences. So that's what we decided to go with. And we decided to focus in on just the experience. So it could be anything from, I saw a bunch of beautiful wildflowers today, to an entire detailed 3-page description of your experiences on the trail in the South March Highlands. And we also thought that we would also include events so that community groups could post different events and encourage the community to come out and experience these areas together. So throughout our process, we were trying to keep in the back of our minds the legal challenges that may be associated with developing an app or a web app like this, and so I'll hand it over to Cheryl to talk a little bit more about that.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this first slide here is a high-level overview of the ethical and legal considerations that may apply in this case study. The first area, intellectual property law. We are focusing in on IP, and I'll talk about that in a slide or two, specifically trademarks. Generally speaking, the case can touch on copyright or an original selection of data or a database. The case can touch on trademarks in sounds, words, or designs. Patents can be used for a functional technology that is new, useful, and non-obvious, such as recent cases on algorithms and business method patents. We need to consider contract law. Contracting or licensing should be considered for the website. Both sides, both the user and the administrator, should agree to a set of terms and conditions for use of their website. Websites should display a license with appropriate options for sharing. Charter of Rights and Freedoms. In our guidelines and policies, we should consider equality rights, gender, race and class, as Renee mentioned this morning. Official languages is also key in this situation. Privacy law will need to develop some type of data privacy policy that talks about the types of data to be collected, the purposes of collection, and the reasons that the data may be shared. So specifically talking about the app that may be developed here. Copyright in the underlying source code, text and images are all considerations. An app may use technology that qualifies for patent protection. Registered trademarks may be used in the name or logos. But the important first step in securing the City of Ottawa brand is trademarks. Securing the City of Ottawa brand as we seek to log 1 million experiences leading up to 2017, potentially coinciding with future leveraging of funds and partnerships by trading on the carefully created Ottawa Wild brand and reputation. We need to preserve the brand value and reputation of Ottawa's natural areas through IP protection. Research that was conducted by us showed that Ottawa is not yet registered with the Canadian Intellectual Property Office. 1 million Ottawa stories is also a phrase that may qualify for potential protection. So just as background, trademarks may be one or a combination of words, sounds, or designs used to distinguish the goods or services of one person or organization from those of others in the marketplace. No one is obliged to register a trademark in Canada. However, registration of a trademark is a key step in protecting and building value in your brand. The registration improves the right of the owner of the trademark. The owner of the trademark creates an identifiable asset and provides the protection against claims of infringement or misuse by others. There's 15 years protection, which is renewable. And now Paulina is going to continue.
So to take you back, we wanted to make the most accessible platform for users that didn't detract from our message of celebrating natural areas in Ottawa. So we're going to do a little demo here. Richard's going to help me with that.
Paulina, can you speak up?
Yep. So if we just load on the prototype. So here we have our homepage. You'll find the ticker that tracks the total number of contributions up here and explains the mission statement of the platform, the featured experience of the week on the bottom right, and a login feature that allows you to log in. However, no account is required to view any content, so if we just click enter here, we'll enter the main page of the website, the main map. So you can close the home page, and here are all the natural areas highlighted. So for example, if we search on the search bar for South March Highlands, it'll take us to an overview of that specific park. Here we go. And if we click on the park itself, you'll see that we have a park highlight box. And that brings up various information of the park. So here we have a location and its features, a custom-made map, which would be added by the City of Ottawa. There's also an experience wall on the top left here that includes the tiles of people's experiences related to their experience in the park. So if we just click on that, on our experiences, we can see that there's another pop-up page here. And this is talking about one person's submission with their photo and their little blurb here of a day in autumn. So they have their photo and then they have what their experience was. And as well, if you click on their submitted by Jane Smith, so that would be their username, you could also look on their dashboard and see what kind of stamps they've collected, which we'll talk about soon, as well as their progress and how many parks they've completed out of the more than 200 that we have. Okay, so if we go back then, we can also see that there would also, if you click back on the map here, there would also be the highlighted events, which you can also do similar to the highlighted experience and the highlighted maps. And if you go to My Ottawa dashboard here, you see you have your stamps that you've collected. So for example, my first photo, my first bike.
recommendations for yourself and your own experiences. And these stamps would be awarded for various contributions and activities. And a few last points. So an automated email would be sent to the contributor acknowledging that your experience has been submitted, to make sure that the user is being appreciated for their experience and not just submitting it and nobody looks at it. The contributions would be moderated, however, before they're put on the website to prevent any spam. And we want to focus on the website for the rich experience and the mobile app for uploading the experience while you're in the park, because you're likely not going to want to look too much into other users while you're in the park. And yeah, so we'll bring it up to questions.